with the 2024 elections approaching, India gears up for its largest democratic exercise. In anticipation, we present a special series on Prime Minister Modi titled Modi Diaries, where we explore his journey and transformation into the Pradhan Sevak today. In our first episode, we will delve into, of course, the Gujarat model. Gujarat, under Narendra Modi's leadership, witnessed remarkable development with a focus on governance that actively engaged its people despite facing challenges like the aftermath of a devastating earthquake and other natural calamities. Modi and his team led Gujarat onto a path of rapid recovery and development within 3 years. Be it vibrant Gujarat that brought in over 40 trillion rupees in investment, or taking the state to the third largest economy, or 41% jump in electricity distribution or irrigation to over 18,000 villages. We'll also talk about with our guest. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, is joining us on the show. Mr. Sharat Kohli, senior economist, with us on the program as well. Mr. S.K. Datta, political analyst, also joins us on the program. Last but not the least, Abhijit Bhatt, editor of India News Gujarat, also joins us on the show. Before, in fact, I throw a question to my guest, I'm going to go to the big screen and show you what exactly happened in Gujarat when the Prime Minister was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Starting from the top, the zenith of what he did, and that zenith was called Vibrant Gujarat. There were investments for over rupees 40 trillion, which were signed till 2011. That's a huge chunk of change coming in the state of Gujarat. The annual Krishi Mahotsavs, which spread across to 246 talukas in Gujarat, it provided guidance to farmers on modern agricultural techniques. It has been extremely beneficial for the farmers. The Sujalam Sufalam, the 13,000 water bodies that were created, over 11,000 lakh cubic feet of additional water storage was also mustered up when Mr. Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. The Shala Praveshotsav, which is of course the dropout rate of students, was reduced to below 2%. That is phenomenal in nature, and that is something which was obviously replicated and emulated by other states as well. The Beti Bachao and the Kanya Kalavani drive, over 1.2 lakh Vidya Sahayaks were recruited to help girl students to in fact get them out of dogmas and stereotypical tendencies of their parents and go to school. The Garib Kalyan Melas, this was the centre's Garib Kalyan Yojana, which inspired from the scheme, has had 81.3 crore beneficiaries, and these are some of the big things that we have gotten to see which emanated out of the Gujarat model. The Van Bandhu Kalyan Yojana, it was in fact done to provide an income of about 8 lakh tribal families, and it doubled in the last few years, and that is also another feather in the Prime Minister's hat. The Jyoti Gram Yojana, it was water which was used for irrigation, available 8 hours a day in 18,000 villages. Villages which had no water, or even if they did, it was not available for that amount of time. Making public sector profitable, water of irrigation available 8 hours a day in 18,000 villages. And of course, that helped the public sector in a number of ways. It reduced the stress on the people who were looking to, in fact, get from A to B. Computerization of land records, it led to putting a check on petty corruption as well, something that the Prime Minister has been extremely vocal about. He's in fact pivoted his entire ideology around anti-corruption. That's exactly something which got him the votes as well. And Dr. Kohli, this is also the vision, and this was also the mission which translated, it in fact transcended into what we see in India today. But today in India, or rightly so, amongst the people, it is colloquially called the Viksit Bharat Mission.
Well, thank you so much, Vaneet, and thank you to the NewsX viewers and my fellow panelists for being there at this hour. Well, I think for me, the biggest takeaway, Vaneet, has been that Gujarat model was replicated by rest of the states. I mean, Gujarat became a model state, and I think, you know, when you utter out this single sentence, you basically sum up what Prime Minister and then the Chief Minister of Gujarat did to the state. Well, with a GSDP which far exceeded country's average GSDP. Being an economist, I would look at it from economic parameters to start with. Well, the GSDP, shall I call it, as I said, far exceeded the GDP of the country. the overall investments which were coming into the state, again, far outpaced the investments which came into the rest of the country. There was, as you rightly said, there was a problem with electricity. Electricity was very rare in Gujarat. I mean, power cuts had become the new normal at that time, especially after the earthquake came. And I think today people remember that era as only a memory. They only sit and chat about it, the drawing room discussions in Gujarat, that what were we 20 years ago? There was no power, water was very scarce. All these things, they have been sorted out, healthcare, education. A comprehensive 360-degree development model was provided to Gujarat, which I feel became a model. And today, we find so many states, Vineet, I'm making a very important point, be it Uttar Pradesh, be it Madhya Pradesh, be it Uttarakhand, be it so many other states which are ruled not just by the ruling government, by BJP, but what surprises me is that even though the ideologies may be different, they may decide to oppose, they may decide to utter out all the nonsense that we hear. I'm talking of the opposition. Inside out, they try and replicate the Gujarat model. Because today, if the stock markets open in the morning with gift nifty cues, I remember, there used to be SGX Nifty from Singapore, based on which the Indian stock markets in the morning used to open. Today, in the gift city in Gujarat, the gifts Nifty gives the cues to Indian stock market, which is the Bombay Stock Exchange and the National Stock Exchange, for them to open up in the morning. So the first thing that somebody looks at 6:45 a.m. in the morning is that how is the Indian, which is an international, today, Gujarat has become an international finance sector. Gone are the days when the Londons and the New Yorks used to be the finance centers. Today, there is so much happening in Gujarat vis-a-vis finance, and we had never heard of that. So Gujarat was only known for its NRIs, those prosperous and wealthy NRIs. Well, in Gujarat, they used to say that if you want to be rich, go and settle in Europe, go and settle in America. Today, in Gujarat, if you want to be rich, you just have to be in Gujarat. So I think, why I say this is look at the per capita income. The per capita income of Gujarat for a number of years has been almost 50% more than the country's per capita income average. I think that this one number can probably spell out the performance and what Prime Minister Modi, and shall I call him the then Chief Minister, did to the state. So I think Prime Minister Modi showed the way as to how the states should approach the growth and development model. And that model today has become a showcase. And the best thing for me, which I noticed, Vineet, even after his exodus in 2014 as a chief minister, the succeeding chief ministers, they continued with the same model. They tried to build on it. And having said that, I think Dr. Datta is with me on the panel. He would agree that the chief ministers have not just built on it, and Prime Minister has never neglected the state. It is as close to his heart as it was then. I think it is only because of a result of that we still continue to see Gujarat in a development mode. Although, having said that, I would see over post-COVID last 2-3 years, the GSDP or the gross state domestic product may have slowed down a bit. But even then, it has attracted investment of around 40,000 crores in a year, which is still a massive amount. And the slowdown is because after COVID, there was some pent up. So if somebody just looks at the numbers, that from 15-16% we came down to 12-13, we are down to 10-11. Well, there was a pent up effect. We are still far ahead of the country's national GDP average. So I think the states which still oppose, the states which still feel that probably states like Bengal or states like Kerala which still feel they are going gung-ho about what they are doing, I think they are not looking at Gujarat model, or they are opposing simply for the sake of opposition. And they should learn that how a state with 6.3 crore people can move forward, can come out of poverty, can provide employment, can provide water, can provide electricity, can bring in industry into the state, Vineet. So that is what I feel is a showcase state for rest of the country. Over to you, Vineet.
All right. Dr. S.K. Datta, in fact, when the Prime Minister assumed office in 2014, the stakes were very high. The aspirations were also sky high. That will he be able to take India to the level, to the status of where Gujarat was and is at this point in time. In that context, how would you rate, what that microcosm was and what the reality of India is today?
Good evening, Vineet. I'm joining your show after a long, long time.
Good to see you, Dr. Datta.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be a part of your show today. And I also see very many of my friends, glad to meet all of you. I also wish all of you a belated happy Holi. And now coming to the question itself, when the Honorable Prime Minister became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, Gujarat was in different shape that time. Gujarat was in different scenario that time. And after that, successive years of his governance and, correct methodology of development together with governance, as well as, this effort of streamlining the administration, reining in the bureaucracy, and welcoming the NRIs as well as the private players to come and invest in Gujarat, and also, in a way, revitalizing the Sikh industries, the Sikh cotton mills, as well as the Sikh silk mills, and also the mining and the metal industry there in Gujarat had a cascading effect in terms of shooting up the developmental scale of Gujarat as such, and we have seen that after 5 years of his chief ministership, the Gujarat after that was on the it was on the uphold. It was it was accelerating at a very fast pace, and it was giving in neck to neck kind of competition with so-called affluent states of that time, whether it was Karnataka, whether it was Tamil Nadu, or whether it was neighboring Maharashtra. And sooner than later, we found that Gujarat actually over or outsmarted all these neighboring states and moved way ahead in terms of the economic development, in terms of the economic growth as such. As Sharath has rightly pointed out, that the state GDP growth of the state of Gujarat is one of the highest in India. Perhaps it is the highest, if not the highest, it's the second highest as such. In terms of FIIs, in terms of FDI, Gujarat today receives second, in terms of percentage, it's the second, number two in terms of percentage for FIIs as well as for FDI. And we have to see and we have to look back and see from where Gujarat was and where it has come. When the Honorable Prime Minister became the Chief Minister of Gujarat, remember, there was a devastating earthquake which had taken place in Gujarat. Half of Gujarat was devastated. Then there was also plague which had devastated Gujarat, together with that series of cyclones every year which had was also having a cascading effect. But having said that, with all these natural disasters, the way the Prime Minister took the state ahead when he was the Chief Minister, that was reflected at the ground level. I had the opportunity of visiting Gujarat many times. I just went a couple of weeks back also to Gujarat. I have been a part and parcel of the Vibrant Gujarat campaign, as well as the Kutch, run of Kutch, the celebration which happens at the year end. And I have seen the kind of development which has taken place at the grassroots level, whether it is in relation to bringing of the Narmada water to the arid regions of Ran of Kutch, or whether it is purification of the Sabarmati River. Sabarmati River today looks as crystal clear as the way Thames is or Volga is. And if you look into the banks of Sabarmati, I mean, the banks of Sabarmati are as beautiful and as decorative like the way the banks of Thames are, or like the way the banks of Mississippi is, So this is something which needs to be appreciated. If you look into the side of agriculture, the kind of quantum leap which the agricultural produce have seen in Gujarat, whether it's millet, whether it's wheat, whether it's rice, whether it's bajra, whether it is cotton. Name any agricultural product, Gujarat is way, way ahead from the rest of Bharat today in terms of agricultural items, in terms of metallurgy, in terms of gemstone, in terms of precious stone industry, in terms of the huge cotton mills, in terms of the huge silk mills. There is a kind of a revitalization which has taken place in all these areas, and the contribution of all these sectors in terms of the Gujarati economy is tremendous.
All right.
Like it or not like it, the oppositions, personally, whenever I meet them, they do appreciate the Gujarat model, even though they don't officially
Okay,
acknowledge that.
absolutely. Let me also rope in Abhijit Bhatt, our editor from Indian News Gujarat. Abhijit, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं?
जी
अभिजीत, गुजरात मॉडल की किस तरीके से और कितनी गहराई तक झलक आपको आज भारत में दिखाई देती है, और जब प्रधानमंत्री विकसित भारत की घोषणा करते हैं और बात करते हैं, उसकी प्रेरणा किस हद तक गुजरात है?
देखिए विनीत, मैं बता दूं तो जिस तरह से गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री के तौर पे 2001 में नरेंद्र मोदी आए और उन्होंने जो डेवलपमेंट का विजन देखा, गुजरात का डेवलपमेंट, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे 2001 में जो भूकंप आया था, क्वेक आया था, उसके बाद जो कच्छ की हालत थी उसको उन्होंने रिस्टोर करवाया और उनको रीएस्टेब्लिश करा, और आज कच्छ की जो हालत है वो काफी सुधर गई है। तो उसके बाद से लेकर लगातार 2014 तक मुख्यमंत्री रहे, तो वहां पर उन्होंने जिस तरह से गुजरात में डेवलपमेंट कराया, पूरे इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर हो, फार्मेसी फार्म सेक्टर हो, कृषि में हो या एजुकेशन सेक्टर में, और जहां जहां पर ही उन्होंने गुजरात में जो मॉडल जो इम्प्लीमेंट करे थे, वही जो योजनाएं है, खास करके प्रधानमंत्री बने उसके बाद देश में कहीं ना कहीं ये योजनाएं उन्होंने यहाँ पे लागू करी है, और उसके चलते गुजरात का जो विकास का जो डेवलपमेंट का मॉडल था वो देश के विकास के मॉडल के तौर पे भी देखा गया है, और दूसरे स्टेट को भी वहां पर दूसरे स्टेट में भी इस तरह की योजनाएं अमली करने की बात करी। मुझे एक बात याद आती है कि जिस तरह से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब मुख्यमंत्री थे तब उन्होंने गुजरात में माँ योजना इंप्लीमेंट की थी, मुख्यमंत्री अमृतम योजना हेल्थ के सेक्टर की थी, तो वो ही योजना यहाँ पर देश में जब प्रधानमंत्री बने उन्होंने इंप्लीमेंट करी, और उसके चलते काफी सारे जो गरीब परिवार थे उनको काफी सारी सेहत की अच्छी अच्छी सुविधा मिली, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की सुविधा। और कोरोना के टाइम पे हम लोगों ने देखा है कि कोरोना के टाइम पे भी गुजरात में जिस तरह से हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलप करा गया, और उसके चलते देश में भी उसी हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को फॉलो किया गया, और उसको चलते आज हेल्थ इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में गुजरात में मेडिकल टूरिज्म में एक नाम हो गया, क्योंकि गुजरात में काफी सारी अच्छी ऐसी हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज मिलती है, और साथ में इंडस्ट्रीज भी, जो वाइब्रेंट गुजरात 2003 में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी मुख्यमंत्री थे उन्होंने पहला शुरू करा था। उस टाइम पे काफी छोटे अमाउंट में इन्वेस्टमेंट आया था, लेकिन 2003 से लेकर 2024 तक का जो वाइब्रेंट गुजरात की जो सीरीज हुई है, 20 एपिसोड हुए, तो 20 सीरीज में कहीं ना कहीं गुजरात का डेवलपमेंट और गुजरात में ज्यादा से ज्यादा फॉरेन इन्वेस्टर्स जो आए, और अभी लास्ट में जो मुझे याद है कि 2024 में जो हुआ वाइब्रेंट गुजरात, उसमें सेमीकंडक्टर का जो सेक्टर है वो गुजरात में स्थापित हुआ, और गुजरात में ये सेमीकंडक्टर का जो उत्पादन है वो भी होने वाला है। तो उसको चलते कहीं ना कहीं ये जो गुजरात की झलक है वो पूरे विश्व को देखने को मिली और देश को भी देखने को मिली, और इसके चलते कहीं ना कहीं विकसित भारत 2047 का जो प्रधानमंत्री का विजन है वो कहीं ना कहीं गुजरात के मॉडल से ही उनका सपना था वो सक्सेस होता हुआ दिख रहा है। जी विनीत।
Himanshu Bhatt, you've heard from the experts, you've heard from the economists, you've heard from a senior journalist on Gujarat as well. In terms of emulating Gujarat, in terms of projecting it as a model for the rest of the India, do you think any other state has come close? A lot of them have been under the BJP for quite some time.
Like the states are making progress. There's no doubt about it that states have come closer to it. But let me tell you something. I remember meeting Narendra Bhai after 2001 Kutch earthquake. And I remember that meeting, particularly only because he very clearly said, we have to redevelop, and not only Kutch, we have to make up Gujarat. हमें गुजरात नया बनाना है. He said it in Gujarati. I'm saying you in Hindi. What he said to me was, I need a road which properly goes from Gandhidham of Kutch to Surat in South Gujarat. That should be a proper highway. And where he wanted electrification everywhere. When I posed a question, when I asked him, being a journalist, we are prone to asking questions. When we said, sir, we are power deficient. He said, you will see to that, till I am the Chief Minister of Gujarat, we will be power surplus. And that's what Gujarat is today. Now that's a very, very clear sign of a man who knew exactly what he wanted. See, Sardar Sarovar, there's a dual advantage. Now see, what Bharat is learning from that is that, Sardar Sarovar has shifted the agricultural landscape of Gujarat. There used to be water scarcity. In a city like Rajkot in Saurashtra, you used to have half an hour water every 2 days. Now, you are having water to irrigate too, through these canal networks. What is happening here is, in Gujarat, tap irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, these two have gone up to 50% of the total agriculture. Now, which says a lot that what is the water conservation that Gujarat has taught. And probably Gujarat farmers and Gujarat agricultural experts learned it from Israel, because there have been consistent tours of Gujarat agriculturalists from Gujarat to Israel. So these are the small examples I am giving you. Now recently, just this year, Narendra Bhai announced that 1 crore households will have solar electricity and they can make money out of it. Do you know something? This renewable energy, Gujarat is number 1 today in the country. Solar energy is a hub. Gujarat is a solar energy hub. There are 2 lakh households that have solar rooftops in Gujarat, which is more than double the national average. So if you see these things, the vision was very, very clear right from the beginning, right from the time he was a chief minister.
All right, sir. Well,
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, but unfortunately, we've run out of time. Would like to thank all my guests for being a part of this series. It's the first of its kind. Many more to come, right?
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.